The old grandfather clock chimed midnight. Rain lashed against the windows of Maplewood Manor. A scream pierced the darkness. Then silence. Inside, the master of the house, Mr. Vikram Ahuja, lay dead. He was slumped over his desk, a single bullet wound marring his temple. His study, once a sanctuary of knowledge and peace, was now a crime scene. Fear clung to the inhabitants of the manor like the damp fog that had descended upon Dehradun that night. Who could have committed such a heinous act? Was it the butler, who claimed to be in the kitchen? Or perhaps the maid, who said she was cleaning the guest rooms? What about the business partner, who had a meeting with Mr. Ahuja earlier that evening? Each had an alibi, but could they be trusted? The butler seemed nervous during questioning. The maid appeared anxious, her hands trembling. The business partner was calm, perhaps too calm. As the detective, what clues would you look for? A hidden letter, a misplaced object, or perhaps a bullet casing? Piece together the clues, interrogate the suspects, and solve the mystery of Maplewood Manor. The truth is waiting to be uncovered. The sprawling manor housed a motley crew of individuals, each with their own secrets and reasons to wish harm upon Mr. Ahuja. Let's delve into their alibis and see if we can uncover the truth together. Mrs. Anika Ahuja, his young wife, claimed she was in the garden at the time of the murder. But can her sorrowful demeanor be trusted? What do you think, dear viewer? Could she be hiding something? Rajat, the opportunistic nephew, stated he was in the study working on his business plans. Could his resentment towards his uncle be a motive? Look closely at his expression. Does he seem trustworthy to you? Dr. Sharma, the quiet and observant personal physician, mentioned he was in his room reviewing medical records. Does he know more than he's letting on? Pay attention to his body language. Is there something he's not telling us? The air crackled with suspicion. Each alibi has its holes, and every glance hides a potential clue. Can you spot the inconsistencies? Was it greed, revenge, or something more sinister that had led to Mr. Ahuja's demise? What do you think, dear viewer? Who among them is lying? Your insights might just crack the case. Inspector Mehra surveyed the scene. The study was in disarray. Papers were scattered across the floor, and a broken inkwell stained the Persian rug. He noticed a half-written letter on the desk, addressed to Mr. Ahuja's lawyer. It seems our victim was about to make some changes to his will, Inspector Mehra mused, his voice heavy with intrigue. But who knew about it? The question hung in the air, unanswered. The scent of gunpowder lingered, a stark reminder of the violence that had transpired. Each object in the room was a potential clue, waiting to be deciphered. As the interrogation began, the suspects presented their alibis. Let's examine them closely. One suspect claimed to be at a nearby cafe. Can anyone verify their story? What questions would you ask to uncover the truth? Look closely at the clues. What do they reveal about the events that unfolded in this room? Share your thoughts. The investigation continued. One by one, Inspector Mehra interrogated the suspects. Each alibi was scrutinized, each story dissected. Let's see if you can spot the inconsistencies. But the truth remained elusive. Pay close attention to the alibis. A new piece of evidence came to light. Mrs. Ahuja's prized diamond necklace, a family heirloom, was missing from her room. Could this be the motive behind the murder? What do you think? Consider the clues. An empty jewelry box, a ransacked room. What do you think happened? Let's piece it together. Had Mr. Ahuja stumbled upon a theft in progress? Or was there something more sinister at play? Your guess is as good as ours. Or was the missing necklace merely a red herring designed to mislead the investigation? What do you think? Share your thoughts and help us solve this mystery. Section 5. Whispers in the Corridor. As the day wore on, whispers filled the corridors of Maplewood Manor. Servants gossiped in hushed tones, their eyes darting nervously. The weight of suspicion hung heavy in the air, suffocating any semblance of normalcy. The gardener, old and stoic, claimed to have seen someone lurking in the garden near the study window around the time of the murder, but he couldn't provide a clear description. Who was this mysterious figure? What role did they play in the tragedy? Imagine you're the detective. How would you interrogate the suspects? Each suspect had an alibi. Let's examine them closely. The maid claimed she was in the kitchen, but was she really? The butler said he was polishing silverware. Do their stories add up? What clues would you focus on to unravel the mystery? The answers lie in the details. Can you solve the case? Section 6. The gardener's account. The gardener's statement added another layer of complexity to the case. He described seeing a tall, slender figure with their face hidden by the darkness. He had assumed it was one of the guests out for a late-night stroll, but now doubt gnawed at him. Could it have been Rajat, desperate to get his hands on his uncle's fortune? Or was it Dr. Sharma, harbouring a dark secret that Mr. Ahuja had uncovered? Let's dive deeper. Rajat claimed he was in his room all night, but can we trust his word? No one can confirm his whereabouts. Dr. Sharma, on the other hand, was seen leaving the house late in the evening. What was he up to? Could he be hiding something crucial? The possibilities seemed endless. What do you think? Could the gardener's account be the key to solving this mystery? Let's examine the alibis. What clues can we gather from their stories? And more importantly, who do you believe? Join us as we piece together the puzzle and uncover the truth. Section 7. The clock strikes 12. As the clock struck 12 again, marking a full day since the discovery of Mr. Ahuja's body, Inspector Mehra knew he was running out of time. The killer was still at large, hiding amongst them, their secret safe for now. He gathered all the suspects in the living room. The atmosphere was thick with tension. Everyone looked at each other with suspicion, their gazes meeting and darting away. Inspector Mehra began the interrogation. "Where were you at the time of the murder?" he asked, his eyes scanning the room. Each suspect provided their alibi, some more convincing than others. "Can anyone verify your whereabouts?" He probed further, jotting down notes. He presented clues, hoping to catch someone off guard. "Does this look familiar to anyone?" The room was silent, eyes darting around, searching for answers. Now, let's put ourselves in Inspector Mehra's shoes. Imagine you're in that room. What questions would you ask? What clues would you look for? Think about the alibis you've heard. Do any of them seem suspicious to you? Who do you think is hiding something? As Inspector Mehra continues his questioning, keep an eye on the suspects' reactions. Do any of them seem particularly nervous or evasive? And finally, examine the clues presented. Do they point to anyone in particular? Could you solve the mystery before Inspector Mehra does? Section 8. Unmasking the killer. Inspector Mehra laid out the evidence, piece by piece, weaving a tapestry of deceit and betrayal. Let's dive into the details.
Let's examine the alibis together. Who was where when the crime occurred? Can you spot any inconsistencies? Think carefully. Look at these clues. How do they connect? What do you think they reveal about the suspect's behavior? Can you piece it together? Then, Inspector Mehra dropped the bombshell. What do you think it could be? Are you ready for the revelation? The missing necklace had been found hidden in plain sight in Dr. Sharma's medical bag. Did you see that coming? What does this tell us about Dr. Sharma? Dr. Sharma, the quiet, unassuming physician, stood frozen, his face ashen. What do you think his next move will be? The game was up.
Section 9. The motive unveiled. Dr. Sharma, backed into a corner, confessed. But what led to this moment? Can you piece together the clues? He revealed a long-standing grudge against Mr. Ahuja, who he believed had wronged him in the past. Look closely at their history. Can you spot the animosity? The murder, he confessed, was an act of revenge, planned and executed with chilling precision. What alibis did he provide, and how did they unravel? The missing necklace was an attempt to mislead the police, a desperate gamble that had backfired. Did you catch the inconsistencies in his story? Justice had prevailed, but the cost was high. How did the evidence stack up against him? What would you have done differently? The Dehradun murder case would forever be etched in the annals of Maplewood Manor, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the veneer of respectability. What questions remain unanswered? What do you think really happened?